Hey all, Captain Eric, not coming from the 12-foot enclosed trailer that Descend calls home in the Florida Keys. As you can see, not in the Florida Keys. I am in our place in Michigan right now, and we are getting hammered with snow. Oh, it's beautiful though. It is beautiful. Yeah, there is the old pontoon hoist. Summer will be here soon. Anyways, check out the depth of this. Whoa, it is deep. It's crazy deep. Wow. So, yeah, I'll be coming with you shortly on another Captain Eric's dive adventure from inside that cozy log home next to the fire and a brewski. So stay tuned, and yeah, we'll relive some warm dive moments here in the frozen tundra of northern Michigan. We'll see you soon. Yeah, Captain Eric again. One last thing before we get after it. I'm here in the old Captain Eric little craft barn here. It's where I do all my building and such, and it's pretty cool. Yeah, I got all my wood there, and good to go. But the reason why I'm in here to talk to you about stuff is we're going to talk about some critters later today. Not that one. Not a bear. No elky time. Yes. Alligators. That's what our discussion is going to be later today in the old log cabin. So, anyways, I wanted to show you alligator. Stay tuned. Welcome back. We are inside now, away from the crazy snow and weather outside. Nice and cozy in here. So let's go have a little chat-skis about some of the most sketchiest diving I have ever done. Yeah, look at it. It's still snowing. It is coming down. We have got to have about at least 2 feet of snow here. Anyways, we got our fire going. We're going to have a little chat again about some of the sketchiest diving I have ever done, and I have done a lot. All right, so let's prop this little thing up here. Got it on my daughter's little steppy thing there. Let's crack us a beverage. Ooh, what we got here today? Rainmaker Ale from Storm Cloud. If you ever get up to the northwest part of the lower peninsula of Michigan, more precisely Frankfort, stop by Storm Cloud Brewing. It is awesome. They have great food there, and their beer is delicious. So stop by there. They're our neighbors and our friends. We are opening up a store just a few doors down from them called Frankfort Outdoors and Tap Room. After you stop at Storm Cloud and grab a beer, head to Beulah. Check out our dive shop there called Beulah Outdoors. Beulah Outdoors. And we'll take you on some fun Michigan wrecks and diving in Michigan. Anyways, but we're not talking about that today, even though we are in the Frankfort area. We're going to talk about something else. So if you haven't seen some of my other videos, I've talked about literally getting rear-ended by bull sharks. I've talked about shipwreck diving, actually penetrating inside of shipwrecks at night. I have done some sketchy diving. I've dove close to 300 feet. Again, wreck penetration, night dive wreck penetration, shark diving, dove with whites, hammerheads, bull sharks. I've been bitten by sharks. I've been hit by sharks. Cave diving. I've done it. I've done it all. And cave diving is pretty sketchy. That's a close number 2 for me besides what I'm getting ready to talk about. But by far, craziest, most intense diving I've ever done is when I became a golf ball diver out of Naples, Florida. I was looking for work. I happened to be in Naples. That was where I called home at this time, and was looking for work. And I wanted to work in the scuba industry if I could. And unfortunately, on that side of Florida, on the Gulf side, it's really not known for its diving. I've dove it a lot and I love it, but it's just not known for its diving. So there's not a lot of job opportunities for diving, out of that area, out of the Naples, Fort Myers area. But I did see an advertisement for a golf ball diver. So I was intrigued. So I went to the location or the shop. It was off of Immokalee Drive, I think. This is going back a few years, but I think it was off of Immokalee. And it's called Golf Balls Galore. And what they did is they have golf ball divers that they would send out to all these golf courses from Cape Coral down to Marco Island. And, we would, or the divers that, would dive into these ponds in the golf courses and retrieve balls. They'd bring them back to Golf Balls Galore. They had a machine that would clean them all up. And they would repackage them, depending on what type of ball they were, and then sell them back to the courses. So it was kind of a cool little business for them. And I interviewed to be a golf ball diver. And I guess what probably the first red flag should have been was that they required, I think this again was a while ago, it's probably more now, but I think over $2 million in insurance. That should have been a red flag, but it wasn't. And he's like, go get that and come back and chat with me. So I did. I went and got my insurance and went back and chatted with him. And he said, okay, here's your courses for the next 4 days. And every day I had a different course I'd go to. And again, from Cape Coral all the way down to Marco Island. And I would show up and go to the clubhouse, tell them I was there, to dive for golf balls. They would give me a golf cart. And I would put my scuba tanks in it, my dry suit, and all my catching gear, I guess, through the little nets that I would put the balls in, and off I would go. Here's where it gets a little sketchy. So my first course, I can't remember the name. I'll show you some pictures of it because I pull in and I go through the guard shack, and literally the first sign that you see when you go through the guard shack on your way to the clubhouse is a beware of alligators sign. And I was thinking to myself, well, that's one of the reasons maybe I needed to get so much insurance, right? So, yeah, interesting. So I go to the clubhouse and I say, I don't know much about golf. Where should I go and, to find the most balls? So this is my first time going. They direct me to, I think it was the 18th hole or something. And, all around the green was a pond. And so I said, okay. So I get in my golf cart, I get my tanks and all my stuff, and I go. And so I pull up, and I'm not kidding you. I pulled up and parked the golf cart, and I look in the water, and there's an alligator. His head sitting in the water. I'll show you pictures in a minute. There he was, sitting there. And this isn't a big pond. Like, we're gonna hang out together, right? We're gonna be in this water together. So I said, well, all right, here we go. So I got my dry suit, all geared up, and got my tanks on and got ready. And as I walked into the water, he went down. And I said, okay, well, hope we won't bump into each other. So I went down and, started gathering my balls, and I didn't see an alligator on that dive. But that was my very first dive as a golf ball diver. Thankfully, I didn't run into that guy. Now, I did this, for a while, and I had some intense moments. We'll start with the first time I got bit by an alligator. So I'm on, I think I was in Marco Island on this one, and I'm in a pond. I didn't see any alligators when I went in there, sunning themselves on the sides or anything like that. I always looked because you never know. I didn't see anything, so I'm down there, and I start looking. And it's all by feel, right? There's no visibility, like zero. Once you might start with a little bit of visibility, but once you start pulling balls off the bottom, it mucks up. You can't see anything. You can't keep in front of it. It's going to overtake you with muck, right? So, eventually you're diving by braille is what we call it, and you're just kind of feeling for balls, and you're grabbing them and putting into your thing, and just going. You're just going by feel. And typically down there's a bunch of tilapia, and they're bouncing off your mast because you're coming by their nest or whatever, so they're hitting you, and you can't see them. You just feel them hitting you. That's not fun either. But this one particular time, I'm down there diving by braille, and I'm throwing balls in, I'm doing pretty good. And there must have been, gator down there. Well, there was a gator down there, but I think he had his mouth open, and I just happened to put my arm right into his mouth, and he clamped down. Well, he shut his mouth, but then reopened it. So thankfully on that one, that was the first time I got bit. He just clamped his teeth and let me go. It was scary though. So it happened so fast. I didn't really, had time to process it. I came up, and you're not in deep water. I think this depth was like 10 feet, maybe, 15. So I popped back up, and he popped up, a little bit over there. They were just kind of looking at each other, probably both going like, what the heck, But I got out. I got out of that one, and, went to a different pond, and, it kept going. And, I would average about 500 balls, maybe a day, right around there. Got paid like 8-9 cents a ball, something like that. So that was my first interaction with an alligator. My second one was a little more intense. So I was at, this one I think, if I recall, was in Naples. I can't remember exactly where it was. It was by the high school, Gulf Coast High School is all I remember. So, so I'm in this pond, and it's a big one, right? So it's really long. And I park my golf cart at one end and get in and start going, right? So I'm down there diving. I didn't see any alligators, before I went in. And so I get down there and I start diving. And I'm doing well. I'm rolling, right? And so, wow, this is fantastic. Go, 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 go. And I'm doing real well. And I'm trucking too, so I'm going the length of this pond, going kind of towards the green. And then I get to a point. This one's a little bit deeper. This is about 25 feet deep, at its deepest point. And so all of a sudden, I'm not really finding them balls to be one here, one there. But I was finding like handfuls of them, at a time. And then all of a sudden it started thinning out. So I assumed that I kind of got off course a little bit. You want to be closer to the green and not too far out. The balls are more, more congregated, I guess, towards the green. So I decided to come up the bank. So it was deep, and then you'd come up, right? And to get an idea of where I was at. So I'm literally, again, I can't see anything underwater. So I'm literally going up the bank like this. And when I pop up, I'm literally right at shore. And my luck would have it, there was an alligator on shore sunning himself, and we were face to face. So I scared the living crap out of him when I popped up out of the water. So he, in a defensive mechanism, not in an aggressive or attack mechanism, but in a defensive, mechanism, he sprinted into the water. Well, in order for him to get into the water, he had to go over top of me because I was right in front of him, right? So I pop up, and we're eye to eye. I was less than a foot away from him. And, I screamed, I had a regulator in, but, when I came up, that scared him too. So he ran over me and he clawed me, with his claws, and ripped my regulator out, ripped my mask out, scratched me pretty bad. So I'm bleeding, and just ran me over. Just ran me right the hell over. And so I'm sitting there with my mask, no regulator, cut up, and not knowing what just the hell happened. And so I kind of got my wits to me, and I turned around, and I see him on the surface, like out there in the middle of the pond. So I had a couple decisions to make. My cart was way far away, and I had so many balls in my bag. I did not want to carry that with my fins and my tanks and everything else. I mean, it was a ways, right? So I got back in the water and I dove, and I would be close to the surface, just kicking and keeping my eyes on him. He went down, but I think we scared each other enough where we didn't want to mess with each other anymore. So I didn't see him again until I got out, and I got my stuff on my cart. I checked my face, which was pretty scarred up at that point. And I saw him surface out there in the water and kind of just give me an eye, and get like, peace, dude, get out. That was probably the most scary part that I had during my golf ball diving days. It was intense. Almost every single pond I dove, typically there was a gator somewhere. If he wasn't in that pond, he was in the one over there. I mean, there was gators everywhere. It was pretty sketchy. And if you look into golf ball diving in Florida, if you just Google it, you're going to see it's one of the most dangerous jobs you can do. And unfortunately, golf ball divers lose their lives, or they get injured quite a bit with alligators, or getting tangled up underwater. There's a lot of stuff under those ponds, and you can't see it until it's too late, and you're in, you get caught up in it. I got tangled up in a couple things, I was able to get myself out, and here I am to talk about it today. So it's a sketchy sport, or a sketchy job, I should say, that, I did for 3 months, and that was 3 months. That was long enough. Another pretty cool incident, and we'll end it at this, is I was golf ball diving at a course, and the groundskeeper comes out and he says, "Can you do me a favor?" Now, this course has one of those courses where it's a driving range, but you drive into a pond. And they built this pond for that reason. And there's a slope that goes down, and all the balls go into a siphon or whatever, and it siphons them back up. And there's this big outlet pipe, and it's whatever. It's built for the driving range to get the balls, and they suck them in, boom, goes, right? Well, the groundskeeper comes up to me and said, "Hey, there's something clogging the inlet pipe. It's not letting the water cycle back out." He's like, "Will you go into this pipe and see what is clogged in there?" And I said, "Well, shit, okay, that's not a real big pipe, like just enough for me to kind of fit in there." He didn't offer me any money or anything either, but I was being kind, right? So I did it. So I swam up this pipe, and you just have to crawl, right? And I can't turn around in there. The pipe's small. I have to, when I'm done, I'll have to push back out, right? So it's tight, and it's full of water, right? So I'm in my scuba gear, and I'm working my way up the pipe, and I'm starting to see something, and I'm like, what is that? So I get closer, and staring at me is a dead deer. And it's not doing so good being underwater for so long, right? So it startled me at first, and then I'm like, okay, well, here is the obstruction. Somehow, some way, a deer got sucked up in there. I don't know if it died and got stuck. I don't know, but it was stuck. So I grabbed its hoof and started pulling it, and the skin came right out. I'm like, oh man. So, above me are a bunch of rich golfers, paid a lot of money to be in this country club. It's a private one, and they're up there, in their expensive khakis and golf shoes and thousands of dollars of clubs, hitting balls into this driving range. And I'm about to pull out probably one of the most rancid smelling things that you can imagine. And I'm about ready to pull this thing out, and pretty much in front of them. And that's what's going through my head as I'm inside this pipe, tugging on this dead deer as it's disintegrating kind of in my hand. So I grab it and I work myself back out, right? I can't turn around. So I'm pulling this deer as I'm going back in the pipe, and I get out of the pipe, and the surface is literally right here, and you almost can hear the golfers hitting right above me. So I just yank this deer out, and it flies up to the surface because of the gases, and then I swim away from it, and I pop up, and I can't smell anything because I got my mask on, right? So my nose is enclosed inside my mask, and I just kind of swim away, right? And the groundskeeper's up there, and he is losing his mind. He's freaking out, and I just go, "Hey, man, there's your obstruction," and got out and took off. So that's my stories today about diving. If you guys are considering becoming a golf ball diver, do not do that. Okay, there are better jobs. I promise you. Don't do that, man. Take it from me. Cool experience to talk about, but never again. So enjoy that one. I'm gonna go and shovel again.